Yo, I'm sorting through some heinous haters like a pooper scooper. I'm just trying to take my life like a Koopa Trooper. I'm double Mario, that mean I'm super, and I'm freaking dangerous like a Chupa Cabre.
What's up, my Wizards Dev? SBMTG got a spoiler from Shadows over Innistrad for you today, and it's a really weird one. This is the weirdest spoiler I've seen in a really long time for like any set. You know, just the flavor of it, the name of it, and all that. Which leads me to believe that I don't know how real the card actually is. To be honest with you, usually I have a lot of faith in these leaks and these spoilers here. Especially anything on Mythic Spoiler usually turns out to be exactly real. But, you know, just the flavor of this card, here's what we're looking at. I might as well go ahead and show it to you. This is Brain in a Jar. And I'll give you the brain in a bottle, and I'll give you the translation here. First of all, I think the name is probably not translated directly to brain in a bottle. It's probably something a little more not silly, but maybe not. Who knows? It might just be brain in a bottle. I sort of hope not. People are calling this not too impressive. There are a contingent of people who really like the card. I do, you know, I sit in the middle, but I'm leaning towards good, honestly. And yes, it invites comparisons to Aire Vial, and it's not Aire Vial. Obviously, there are some limitations, and that's what we need to talk about first here while we evaluate the card. First of all, the charge counter is not a May ability. You are forced to put the charge counter on that, and the spell that you cast, instant or sorcery, has to have a casting cost equal to the number of charge counters. It can't be equal or less, for instance. So those are two fairly major restrictions, but I still think this card is quirky enough and just low cost enough to possibly work out. There's a couple of things to point out here. First of all, it's good with Surge and with Prowess. Prowess not so much of a factor, but Storm Chaser Mage is still in the format, so there's that to consider. But Surge, I think there's a real point to make there. Surge, you know, probably an interesting mechanic that wasn't really explored fully in design, I would say. I wish that there were more and better Surge cards, but there's still some interesting and playable Surge cards out there, and I think this helps them out. You know, obviously, you're not casting the spell for free. You have to pay the 1 mana of that, you know, but 1 mana is better than 3, 4, 5, whatever. So that could actually be, you know, something worth pointing out. Another thing is that it allows you to cast spells that you wouldn't otherwise be able to cast if you didn't have the right color mana for them, and that's one thing I think is worthy of pointing out. On charge counters 2 and 3, those are important because they allow you to cast counters, counter spells for just the 1 mana, allowing you to free up your mana to do other stuff. Also in control decks, this allows you to scry at the end of your opponent's turn, even if you're only doing it for 1 or 2. That's not bad in control decks, especially you can control when and when not to do it. You can obviously scry so as to pull back the amount of counters on it and allow you to cast different things for free, so there's that too. Problem is it taps to do both things, so you have to wait a turn in between. But you can always do the scry at the end of their turn, and then on your turn you've got it locked and loaded. So there's that. And you know, on counters number 4 and 5, it allows you to cast like mass removal and, you know, big spells that could actually be game changing, but it mostly makes me think of things like Languish and Planar Outburst. So for a control deck, this could actually be a fairly utility card. And, you know, it's got a lot of combo potential, obviously. It's a really quirky thing that looks fairly breakable. And I just think there's a high amount of variance, and it really depends on what we see in the format. But even with the cards we know we're going to have, it definitely has some applications. Well, that's Brain in a Bottle. Let me know how you feel about this one. You know, it could be real. I just feel like it's the translation that hits the ear wrong for a Magic card. But, you know, if it is real, I feel like this is probably a good design, at least for a card, and I'm not sure how great it really is. But I do at least want to argue what could be good about it, you know. So let me know, hey Ziggy, let me know how you feel about this thing, and also tune in, I've got a video coming out same day here today where I talk about some stuff that we're losing in Khans of Tarkir. I'll talk about gold artifacts and lands today. Tomorrow I'll talk about the rest of the 5 colors by Ziggy. So stay tuned for that. And if you enjoyed this spoiler content, like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm really interested to know how you feel about Brain in a Bottle. If you share my pseudo enthusiasm, or if you just think the card is bad, because a lot of people think the card is bad. Good talking to you guys. I'm Dev from SBMTG. Thanks for watching, my wizards.